Hi everyone, I'm Sweet Melba. Thanks for joining me for Sunday on the Porch and happy Easter. Well, it's 83 days left now until I retire? Well, I'm a countdown. But every week I'm going to really try and focus a little bit more about different things that are coming to mind in this countdown to retirement. And, this last week I was really thinking about remembering the things we enjoy doing, whether those are trips or just small little activities that we enjoy doing. I think sometimes we forget about those. We're busy with work and family and whatnot, and we tend to forget about those things we really enjoy doing, and we kind of need to revisit that. So a couple weeks ago, one of my videos, I mentioned that my husband was going to be going on a 2-week trip, and I was trying to decide what I was going to do while he was gone. Was I going to go travel solo, or was I just going to stay home? So when I really started thinking about it, again, it was, I had the freedom, so to speak, to really choose what I wanted to do while he was gone. And I gave that a lot of thought. And I think a lot of that you know, free time and ability to kind of pick and choose what we want to be doing is kind of unusual for us. So I really had to give it a lot of thought. But I think a lot of times everybody kind of expects you to take the big trip, right? Or, some exciting activity. And for me, I really started thinking, it's the small things that I really enjoy doing. And so that's what I really wanted to focus on. So I wanted to share a little bit about what I decided to do and share some photos with you as well. So thanks for joining me. So something I really enjoy doing, and I don't do it very often, just, because I'm busy. And when it comes to the weekend, you kind of want to relax if you've been working during the week. And But what I enjoy is going to thrift shops and antique stores. So I really made a point of going to some of the places that I've enjoyed going to in the past, but also some new ones. And I just really, and I'm going to share some photos. I get a lot of ideas when I go. And one of my favorite places isn't so much a thrift store or antique shop. It's more collectibles, like, well, maybe not even collectibles, but it's just a fun whimsy. They do it roughly every couple months. It's kind of a pop-up store that they have, and it's always a theme, and everything is just decorated gorgeous. And so obviously this was decorated for Easter. And I really haven't decorated for Easter in a long time, or springtime, really. So I got out my decorating stuff and kind of assessed what I had, and I didn't have a lot. And that's probably why I haven't decorated for that. So I thought, I'm going to go look. And so I went to this particular pop-up shop, and there were just some super cute things, as you'll see in the photographs. And again, some things, are just ideas for me. It's like, I could do that. Or, a couple things that I was like, you know what, that's just too cute. I got to buy that. And I'll share a little bit too in my photos, some of the things that I bought. So I found a couple things there. Another store that I like is kind of a, antique, but just again, collectible, that I went to, and they had a great Easter display as well. And a lot of their Easter stuff was like, 40, 50% off. So, you can't beat the finds, right? Don't we all love to get those? So I had a few of those. And at that particular store, I found the duck, which was super cute. It's like different types of, well, it's rope, but it's done in a different pattern. So super cute. So I had to have that. And I like to decorate my mantle in our home for the holiday, whatever the holiday is. So that's what I did for the Easter with the different things that I found. And so I have a picture of that as well. So I found a couple things there, some great little like jeweled eggs, which were really neat. And like I say, with the percentage off, it was, you can't beat that. So I got a few things there. And again, I just really enjoy taking the time. And I think that's what was nice about this was that, I just took my time, anywhere from an hour to 2 hours in some of the stores, and sometimes I'll make a pass a couple times, right? You don't always see everything the first time. But it was just a reminder of, you don't need the big things necessarily to, really, enjoy some extra time that you may have. And maybe this is kind of a practice run when I am retired in the next couple months, of just remembering that these fun activities, relaxing, creative opportunities are there, and it's a great way to spend your time. And so I really enjoyed doing that. And I tried to work in some meals too. Went to one of my favorite places that I tend to go to by myself, and it's a sandwich soup ice cream little shop. And but I made a point of going there when I was doing my shopping, and enjoyed a great sandwich outside. The weather was really nice, and also had to get some ice cream too. I don't think I got a picture of the ice cream though. Pistachio, that's the best that they have. Rocky Road's good too though. So that was, again, a fun, 3 or 4 hours out. I didn't feel rushed to get back home. I didn't need to cook dinner or anything like that, right? So it was a nice way to spend some free time. And one of my favorite thrift stores I went to, again, I don't go very often, but when I do, I always tend to find, some great stuff. And of course, they had all their Easter and spring decorations on sale, and theirs was, again, like 40, 50% also. And I found a couple things there. I really didn't have any eggs, and you can see that on the mantle, that I was able to decorate with some more eggs, and a little something on the coffee table as well. And it was kind of a mix of stuff I found there, as well as a few things that I had. But they had a great kind of a grab bag type thing. So it was bags filled with all kinds of little Easter things. And the bags were like $5. And I got a bunch of stuff. And you'll see it, just little things. So it was again, a great find. And we have in our area, we kind of have a antique mall, and I've been there a couple times, and it's supposed to be the biggest in our area, I guess. So again, I set aside another afternoon to be able to go over there, and that one, I think I was there for about 2 hours. It was really big. But the other fun thing is I ran into a couple people that I knew. And so, having some time to just kind of chat and catch up real quick, and what I was looking for in the store. And so it was really nice, and it wasn't crowded that day. It was a weekday, I think, that I went, and so it was nice. So another nice opportunity to find some things and see some interesting stuff too. You never know what you're going to find in an antique mall, right? It was a fun couple days going to those places, and just, again, relaxing, taking my time, saying hello to different people, and just, again, trying to find some things that we're going to add a little bit of fun and the season to our house. So that's always fun. Another activity that I did was on a Saturday night. Our local high school was doing their own presentation theater production of Grease. And I was like, how can I miss that, right? And so I got tickets for that, or ticket for me, and went. And it was a lot of fun. It's interesting for all of us that know the Grease movie, that, well, Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta, which, I've seen, a dozen times, I'm sure. You probably have as well. But it was fun to go to that and see these high schoolers, their interpretation of the story. And it was kind of weird, really, to see these, 16, 17, 18-year olds playing these parts that, uh, were parts that we remember, when we were younger. So it was a lot of fun. And they had a little fundraising activity, which was neat. And I have some photos here that each one of the characters, or some of the main characters, I guess it was, they got to decorate a shoebox based on their character, what they thought their character would make that shoebox look like. And you got to vote for your favorite by dropping in coins or $1, $10, whatever you wanted to put in the box. And it was a little fundraiser for them and their theater production to do that. So there were some really cute little boxes for Sandy and some of the other main characters. So that was kind of fun. So I got some photos that you can see there. So that was, so I don't know who won. I should probably send them an email and see who they won, which one won. But it was fun. It was a nice night out. They had candy for sale, and they did a really good job. So it was a fun time, and to kind of sing along with the songs, like we always do when you watch Grease, right? And one of the other fun activities I did reminded me, and seeing some of these items in the stores reminded me of a couple crafts that I actually do. One that I really enjoy doing, and I haven't done it in a while, but I have all the supplies. I have a big tub. Is making rag wreaths. That's hard to say. I love doing that. And I think I love working with the old fabric. I rarely buy new fabric when I do those. I get, fabric at garage sales, or maybe it's a quilt or an old table cover or tablecloth that has a really fun pattern, or even valances have some nice patterns. And I just really enjoy, sitting. I usually have the TV on. So it's an activity I can do while I'm watching TV. And it's just very relaxing to me. And I think for me, it's one of those activities that kind of reminds me of my grandma. My grandma and my aunts back in Alabama, they did quilting. And I have one of my grandma's quilts. I also have one of my husband's family. They had a quilt too, which is pretty magnificent. It's called the cathedral window. So if you know that, you know how elaborate those are. But anyway, so I find these different things, and that's that reused fabric. And it kind of reminds me of, cutting up the fabric, cutting it up into the strips that you put on the wreath. It's kind of reusing, right? I guess maybe that's one of the reasons I enjoy thrift stores too, is finding things that you can reuse. You don't have to buy new stuff, right? But I love working with the fabric, and I'm not a sewer. I can wing it, and I'm not very good at that. But it's a way to work with the fabric and not quilt, but yet it still kind of has that feel to me. And so I enjoy doing that. So I have a couple photos of my wreath that I'm working on. I had found a couple uh, handmade throws. And so I just cut the fabric off, and then I repurpose it for the wreath. So I worked on a wreath, so that was a lot of fun. And then some of those items I had found at the thrift store were some wooden eggs, which I love wooden eggs. And I don't have any in my little farm display that's on my kitchen window. So I thought this will be perfect. So I got those, and they were pretty scuffed up. So I was going to need to do a little crafting to clean them up. So I did some decoupage on them, and I'm still kind of working on it. And while it's a little Eastery, it's also spring, and it will go with my decor that I have, my little bay window that I have in the kitchen. I can put there. So I'm still working on those. Those aren't completely done, but so again, it was fun to remember some of these crafts that I enjoy doing by going to some of these stores and seeing some of the things that others had done, and reminding me that I could do that. I'm going to take some time and enjoy just doing that. So that's what I did too during my 2 weeks, and I'm looking forward to doing that in the future when I am retired. And again, it's been a great way to kind of remember some of these small activities that kind of forgotten about. So it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. So I guess the lesson for me in this, and maybe something for you to think about too, was again, it doesn't have to be big, fancy, expensive stuff to really enjoy your time. And I think a lot of times retirement kind of, people think, oh, you're going to go do something, really exciting. Not that that's not on the horizon, right? But it's the small stuff. It's having the space and the free time to kind of pick whatever it is you want to be working on, what you want to be doing. And it doesn't have to be the big stuff. The little stuff goes a long way too. So maybe you have some fun activities that you do, whether you're retired or not. Maybe you haven't done them in a while. I'd love to hear what some of your projects are, your craft projects, or things that you like to do in your community when you got some free time. I think it's a good reminder for all of us that doesn't take a lot of money to go do that, right? If any, if you don't buy anything, and you still get some great ideas. So I think it's a lot of fun, and I think we can all benefit from just chilling out and remembering. You know what? Take it slow. Enjoy your time, whether that's a nice meal, an ice cream cone, or going to the store and shopping a little. The other thing that I really, I gave it some thought was where did I want to kind of make an effort to find some of those activities that are just ways to reconnect? And I thought about with my friends and family. So I had a couple phone calls with some girlfriends, some long phone calls, just catching up, an hour here or 30 minutes here, and even, just some chatting online as well. So that was fun to just kind of reconnect a little bit and see what they're up to, what they're doing. Certainly, letting them know about my plans coming up with retirement, and we chatted a little bit about, oh, maybe we should go on a trip. So, there may be something like that coming up too. But I also decided, my husband was going to be gone for 2 weeks. And I thought, I could go down and pick him up from the airport. And he left and came in back from San Francisco airport. So it's a little bit of a trek, but I thought, this might be a nice ride. The weather was good for the most part. And I thought this might be nice just to get out and do a drive, stop along the way here and there. And so I worked it out too that I was able to visit for a day with one of my sister-in-laws. So that was really nice. And we tried to even squeeze in an antique shop or two, which was fun. And it was just, again, time for us to catch up and, um, what we're doing. And we played a card game, and we went to a couple restaurants. And so it was a nice little short visit. Again, nothing elaborate. It's like, hey, you know what? She invited, why don't you come on down? You know what? That might work out great. I can come visit you for a day or two and then go down and pick up my husband from the airport. And she ultimately decided to join me for the ride. So that was a lot of fun. And it was another way for us to spend a couple hours just catching up, sharing stories, looking back how, decisions we've made and things we're looking forward to going forward. So again, it was a nice way to reconnect. It was just comforting, right? It wasn't, we didn't have an agenda or anything. We just kind of, hey, let's go try this and let's go see. Maybe we want to do this. Maybe we want to play some cards. So it was a nice way to enjoy a couple days with, again, no clear agenda, so to speak, and just enjoyed relaxing and spending time with each other. And then, as I said, had a couple-hour drive from my sister-in-law's to pick up my husband and his friend from the airport. So that was a lot of fun to get to see them and to hear their stories on the drive back. And it was just really, again, relaxing. It was great to hear some of their tales from their story. And, again, just being together and enjoying that quiet time, on your ride, driving. That's a great way to have some good conversations, I think, on those long drives and enjoy a few snacks along the way, too, right? So, with these activities that I did, that's what I, chose to do. What would you have done? What would have you, if you had a week or 2 weeks, to just kind of tailor what you wanted to do and how you wanted to spend your 2 weeks at home? And I'm curious what activities you would have done. So if you'd like to share, I'd love to hear and maybe get some ideas from you for next time when that opportunity comes up. So overall, I think I learned a couple different things with this 2 weeks time that I had. I think retirement means a lot of things to a lot of different people, right? Everybody's retirement is different. Everybody's activities are different. Some are looking forward to all that travel. Some are looking at doing home projects. We're all different. And I don't think, you know, there's not an expectation that your retirement look like anybody else's. You know the saying, you do you. I think that's what we do. We do what we want to do. You do you. And for me, that's what I chose to do. Certainly, I could have gone on a trip if I wanted to, but the more I thought about it, the more I thought, my travel partner is my husband, and that's who I want to travel with. And I'd much rather wait until he was home and use the money that I would have spent going traveling somewhere for both of us to be able to go. And it's not to say that I wouldn't travel by myself, but that's just not where I was. That wasn't what I was looking to do. So I thought, okay, well, then I'm going to stay home. And I enjoy being at home. I enjoy the environment that we've created in our house, our decorations, and our house now looks like Easter and spring. So that was fun. I had a good time doing that, and I hope you enjoyed some of the photos of some of the finds and Easter decorating and some of the crafts that I did. But again, I think overall, this experience was, again, kind of that prepping for what's coming next in retirement, and a reminder that the simple things, right? The quiet things, the fun activities that we can do just by ourselves. Getting out and enjoying the community, doing some crafts and projects that we enjoy doing, reconnecting with friends or family. It's all of those things that within retirement, we have the flexibility to do exactly how we want to plan our days, right? And enjoy different things at different times. And so it was a reminder to me that it doesn't have to be the big things, that the little things are equally important. And I'm glad that I chose that. I'm glad that I chose to spend the time as I was sharing with you and be reminded of some of these fun activities that I enjoy doing that I haven't done in a while. So I think it was beneficial from that prospect of getting a different frame of reference, right? That it doesn't have to be what others might think. Because so many other people asked me, well, your husband's going away for 2 weeks. What are you going to do? Are you going to go on a trip? What are you going to do? And it kind of, at first I was like, oh, well, maybe I should. But you know what? I remembered that even being home and enjoying these activities is just as rewarding as if I had gone on a trip. So for all of us, I think finding that just how we want to do it is just okay. Again, you do you, and find the things that you enjoy, and spend as much or as little time as you'd like doing those things. So again, if you'd love to share, I'd love to hear what some of your favorite activities are. Maybe you like to ride bikes, or maybe you go to the lake, maybe you have a lake house, or something along those lines, or going to the park, or going for walks. So many different things that are there that we can do that, again, are free. We can do that. And if we find a treasure or two at the antique store, that's okay too. So thanks for joining me for Sunday on the Porch. Again, happy Easter to everybody. And I hope you'll continue to join me on my retirement countdown. Each week, I'm kind of reflecting on, what's just kind of been top of mind for me as I adjust from, a working career, and how I'm adjusting, how I'm considering new activities, and where I want to be spending my time, and what it feels like to wrap up a career after that long, and how do you finish up that work. So different things that I'm hoping to share over the next few weeks, couple months here. My retirement date is June 30th, and so I know it's going to go faster than I think. Right now it seems a little slow, but anyways, I hope you join me, and I hope that some of my activities that I shared with you today are reminders of some of the things that you enjoy doing. And hopefully you can find time to do those, whether you're retired or not. That's the other important thing, right? So many of these things don't require you to be retired, right? you can do these whenever. And maybe that's the bigger lesson, is not to forget about the small things that add so much to our life, and we enjoy doing. So thanks again for watching. I'm Sweet Melba, and I'll see you next time as the retirement countdown continues. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.